Grabovoi concentration exercises. These exercises for every day of the month will develop your consciousness. They will influence the direction of your life's events in a positive way. They will help you achieve perfect health and be in tune with the pulse of the universe. Dear reader, I recommend that you find time in your daily schedule to acquire the techniques and do the exercises offered below. 3 exercises are suggested for each day of the month. These exercises will teach you how to control events in your life by using different concentration techniques. During the process of concentration, you should always keep in mind the concrete goal you're trying to achieve. Your goal may consist in bringing about a desired outcome, such as curing a disease, for instance, or developing the tools for cognition of the world, etc. The most important task is to work on regulating information for the benefit of mankind's salvation and harmonious development. This effort may also imply fighting with destruction at the information level, since you undertake here the role of rescuer. In practice, at the level of your own perception, concentration may be achieved in the following manner. Visualize the goal of your concentration efforts as a certain geometrical form, such as a sphere. This is the sphere of the goal indicated in your concentration. Compose yourself spiritually to be able to build desired events the same way as the Creator. While concentrating on different objects or concrete numbers or on comprehending reality, you should remain in control of the sphere's location. Use the power of your will to move the sphere into that area of your perception, which radiates more light at the moment of concentration. I am presenting here only one option of concentration techniques. Many others may be discovered in practice. Methods of controlling events based on understanding world processes through concentration are extremely effective. In the first exercise for each day of the month, you should concentrate on some element of your outer or inner reality. In the second exercise, you should concentrate on a numerical sequence, a 7-digit and then a 9-digit number. In the third exercise, you will find a verbal description of the techniques for controlling life events. Let me emphasize one very important aspect of the entire training course. You must understand that the effectiveness of your concentration depends primarily on your approach towards it. Do your best to open yourself to this creative process. Listen to your inner voice as it prompts you on how exactly you should execute these concentration techniques in practice. As I have already mentioned, one method is to write a sequence of numbers on a piece of paper and concentrate on them. Another approach is also possible. While concentrating on a sequence of 9 numbers, you can try to imagine that you are in the center of a sphere, and the numbers are distributed along its inner surface. You can visualize the information on the goal of your concentration in the shape of a ball that is placed within this sphere. You must focus on identifying which number in the sequence emits more light than the others. At the very first thought that allows you to single out a particular number written on the inner surface of the large sphere as shining brighter than the rest, you should focus your mind just upon this number. You should then mentally connect the inner sphere containing the ball, the goal of the concentration exercise, with the selected element of perception, the most brightly shining number. When concentrating on a sequence of 7 numbers, you can imagine that the numbers are distributed along the outer surface of a cube, on any one of its sides. Listening to your inner voice, you can move the numbers around, changing their location until you reach the maximum effect. A totally different approach is also possible. You can mentally connect each number with some element in your outer or inner world. Mind you, these elements don't have to be of a similar nature. You may, for instance, associate one number with a tree and another number with some emotion. It is up to you to make the choice. With this method, you symbolically equate each number with the chosen element of reality. These elements of reality can always be either physical or mental. This means that they can also be images visualized by your consciousness. All these techniques will provide you with new avenues for exercising control. You will be at liberty to change the structure of your concentration and your ways of adapting to it. You will also be free to choose from a variety of symbolic equations between the numbers in the sequence and the corresponding elements of reality. This allows you to make your concentration more effective. What is more, you can achieve better control over the amount of time needed to reach your goal, which is of major importance considering the time constraints of everyday life. Where instantaneous rescue is needed, your concentration must bring immediate results. When the goal lies in finding ways that will guarantee your harmonious development, then the time factor may be less significant. What is important here is to ensure that you are on a path to further your personal harmonious development while taking all possible circumstances into account. This is precisely what the concentration techniques are meant to accomplish. As you can see, everything in these exercises and techniques must be adapted to the individual. Everyone should seek out his or her strategy for personal growth and development. In this regard, it is important to remember the following. The choice of one's personal development strategy cannot be made through logical considerations alone. You undoubtedly set your own goals and do your best to fulfill them, but in your soul, there are intended tasks for you that were defined at an earlier time. That is why your concentration exercises and techniques may initially target these earlier tasks, which existed in the soul previously, and focus not only on your personal growth and development, but also to the harmonious development of society as a whole. As you fulfill these tasks, you will intuitively sense that this should be your first mission. You will sense it deep inside at the level of the development of the soul, at the level of the Creator. And this is the reason why, when referring to concentration, we are above all speaking of universal harmony. Here you must understand that working to establish harmony always presupposes as its essential element the element of rescue and salvation, if the situation is such that it requires such intervention. However, the main task in creating harmony is to secure such a development of events, which will prevent the possibility of a threatening situation. And you should ensure, of course, that this process of harmonious development is constant and permanent. The concentration techniques and exercises for each day of the month that I've created and tested will bring about this result. With the practice of these exercises, you will experience the kind of harmony that shall make your path joyful and unending. You will learn how to save yourself and others and how to live an eternal life. Empowered by these concentration techniques and exercises, you can always take active steps and exercise control in any situation instead of passively waiting for the outcome. Recognizing that the use of these concentration exercises in your everyday activities allows you to participate in a very real way in the process of universal salvation and eternal harmonious development, and lets you experience the freedom the Creator has given you. This is what shapes universal harmonious development alongside with your true personal well-being. The concentration exercises and techniques are intended for 31 days. If you perform them in the month of February, which has only 28 days, then on the 1st of March, you should move on to the exercise for the first day of the month. In other words, the day of the month from the list of exercises should always correspond to the calendar day. You may do the concentration exercises at any hour of the day. It is up to you to decide how many concentration exercises you want to perform per day and how long each one should take. It is useful to do the exercises on a routine basis, as well as before important or stressful occasions. If the first exercise of the day seems too complicated, you can skip it and practice the other two. You will still get results, and after a while, the first exercises of the day will become easier to understand and simpler to carry out. So you don't have to force yourself. Start by doing the exercises that you understand and like. Let us now turn to the concentration exercises and techniques.